move on with this news that came out of nowhere. And it literally was one day they have a meet, from what I can gather, they have a meeting and it said they tell the students and the staff that you have, first I heard it was until August. And then it's the end of June, and now it's tomorrow. You on some try and be morally right or whatever. And I'm not saying that morally right stuff that King was talking about. Right. That's different. I'm not talking about that, because ain't no way you putting women and the kids in front of water hoses and police dogs, and they don't give a damn. Excuse me. I'm a teacher, and if I'm not teaching your children, people have a right to come and say, "Hey, look, man, you're not doing what I need you to do for my child." But you have to be involved too, right? So you can't tell me as a parent, unless you're involved, that you're not doing my child right. I need y'all to correlate this to what's going on around here as well. You can't tell me I'm not doing your child right if you're not involved in the child's life on all levels. The issue that it is now is blatant in everybody's face. Yeah. It's blatant in everybody's face. So we're not sitting there talking about what can we do for residents. We don't care nothing about the residents.
Never about the residents.
It's never about the residents. And the issue that people are having that I see, and they still won't let me come down to the council. When I'm out of school, I'm just going to go. Be out of school in a couple weeks. I'm just going to come to one. I don't care.
You lie.
All right. Good morning, family. How y'all doing? Thank you for joining us this Sunday morning for your morning cup of bro. We appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to be with us. If you did any celebration of Black Love Day, then that's absolutely wonderful. Congratulations to y'all and all of that, and keep it moving and grooving. All right. This is your little brother Elliott X. And this is brother Uncle Mick. And we with y'all live this morning on this Sunday morning, the 15th of February. Yeah, that's it. So we got some other stuff to share, but let me start with this. If you have children or grandchildren or other young people that you know that are in school, right? I'm begging you all as an educator to make sure that their skills are tight. And I know that there's going to be instances where there's some children who don't have skills. I know that there's going to be instances where there's going to be children who, parents don't maybe know, and they're doing the best that they can. No excuse. I'm not using that as an excuse. I don't care, because when we were 150 years ago, we had less and did more. So just be real clear about that. And it's probably a little bit more than 150 years ago. But we had way less and did a lot more, but we're not doing the job that we need to do for our young people. And this is across the board. Now, I've been doing this educational thing, and I had to stutter, for 30 plus years, 32 years, really. Started in 1994, even as a sub. So I count that too, because it's still teaching. And I've seen it get progressively worse. I'm clear that the system designed the way that it is not for our excellence. So let's be real clear about that. It's not designed for us to overcome and beat the odds and obstacles. It's designed for us to fall into traps. And I say that to say that on there are times when we have professional developments as educators and people are not clear about what goes on in those meetings. And people are not clear about whether the persons in front of your children are aware of what people do or don't know in front of them, right? So if you got a teacher in front of your child, do you talk to your teacher, talk to the child's teacher to kind of see and gauge where you can figure out where that child, how that teacher is going to engage in your child, with your child? And that's all the way to high school. Because, typically we get to a point in our life and we kind of let the kids go figure it out or whatever. You can't do that. Because if you have a particular cultural view, and that's what they're trying to get us to ignore. Don't worry about where you come from. Be part of the melting pot, even though you're always going to be the part of the melting pot at the bottom. All right. We got cartoons playing this morning. That's what's up. You're gonna be part of the melting pot. That's the junk at the bottom. Don't worry about it, man. I'll just click out of it. I ain't tripping.
Mm-hmm.
The part that we're not pouring into the bowl that everybody can dip from, but your part is the part that we're gonna wash out and send down the trash, send down the garbage disposal. And if you're not clear, and you have the right to ask questions, and I think that people don't do it, and we take it at face value that the persons that are in front of your child for 8 hours of a day are somebody that we can trust. And I'm not saying, see, there we go. Now we got my name right. Thank you, Miss Sherry Allen. We appreciate all y'all for joining us this morning. Miss Cousins, Miss Hendricks, Concrete Jungle, Martinez, Miss Martin, Miss Terry, everybody. Good morning. We appreciate y'all. But why not? And it doesn't require a rocket scientist to ask the types of questions of your teachers about certain things that you want to make sure people are knowledgeable about your child. So we had this one particular piece that happened, and I tried to control my passion because it was much deeper than what was given. And I'm gonna tell y'all, what was given was how names are messed up, or how young people or parents will go and change the name of a child to something that's much Judeo-Christian, or that's much more acceptable to the school, so it's easier to pronounce, and the child learns how to fit in and assimilate instead of standing on their culture and people learning not only the culture, but also the pronunciation of the child's name, all of these other things. And I mentioned that I had a young man who is of Hispanic or Spanish descent, and his name is pronounced one way. So I made sure that the child told me over and over and over again that his name is supposed to be pronounced this way. So his mom was like, well, you can come and you can say his name this way. I'm like, no, that's not what you named him. So they consider these to be microaggressions, especially when teachers laugh it off and whatever. Now, if I don't know your name, because I love doing what I do and I love my students, you get a nickname. And I have young people to this day that have fussed at me years later after they graduated. And I said, you know what? You never gave me a nickname. I said, you're right. And then I give them one there on the spot, and I go on and I see that, right? Because if I tear your child's name up, but it's not out of disrespect for their culture. So the whole point of the exercise was talking about these micro, what they call, and see, this is how petty the world is getting. I'm not saying not get the child's name right. I'm not saying dismiss the child's culture. I wasn't going to dismiss this young man's culture because this is how his name is supposed to be pronounced. It's important to him. It's important to me because I understand as a cultural man and one who studies culture and lives culturally that that's important. So I made sure that I understood the man's name. Now, they were talking about these microaggressions in school and because of a person's name and how you may or may not laugh at the name or snicker at the name because you get it wrong or whatever, and just dismiss it. But there's a deeper underlying aggression, and it's not even micro, that happens in school all the time. It happens in school all the time with our young people, especially in what they call urban school districts. And we have to be aware of that, aware of the aggression. But we also have to do our part and be as studied as best we can. Man, I think that that's the biggest part of the problem is we're not doing that part. We're allowing every other element out there to raise our children instead of us raising our children. Do we have teen pregnancies before? Yes, we did. Do we have teen pregnancies before a long time? Yeah, that's the reason why some folks people got sent down south, and when their child came back, they thought that the mama that was actually the mom raised, oh, that's my cousin, until they found out later on that was actually the child being raised by grandparents. So this happened. Teen pregnancies are not anything new. But also teen pregnancies weren't something that was celebrated either. You know, hey, you get pregnant, you're going to have a, I would never forget what my dad told me. Oh, yeah, I know you like the girl. You better make sure that you take care of yourself so that you don't have a child. Because if you have a child, you got to get a job. You got to get a job. Yeah, you got to get a job. And you're going to give her half and you're going to give me half. Because right at this point, you get her pregnant, this is a different relationship. You gotta pay rent here now. Pay rent. Yeah. I said, but if I give her half and give you half, then I ain't gonna have nothing. But then you got to get another job. What? Why I gotta work 2 jobs and go to school? Yeah. So you can have some money. But then you gotta pay her half of that job too, and pay me the other half. Why? I mean, that don't even make sense. Why am I gonna work 2 jobs and you still gonna make me go to school? Absolutely. Because you're gonna need that education because you got a child to take care of. Oh, I'm sorry, not just a child, but you got to take care of her too. And it wasn't oh well, well, I'm gonna just go ahead on and do my thing and dip. No. I don't care nothing about none of that stuff. If she tell you to go sleep in the dog house, then you go out there and sleep with the dog. What? Sleep with the dog? You say, yeah. You going out there and sleep with the dog. She get mad at you, you do something wrong, she tell you to go sleep outside, you're gonna sleep outside. Didn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, but you know what the point was? If you don't want to be able to, if you're not prepared for the responsibility, then don't do things that's gonna make you grown. Make you think you grew up because there's a consequence for it. And we're not clear. We don't understand what we're dealing with in the schools. We don't understand what we're dealing with all of these boards. We don't understand what we're dealing with, and I'm glad I just thought about that because we have to even look at the library board. right? Sidebar real quick, then I'm gonna come back. The library board we got to pay attention to because they're getting ready to try and find somebody now to run the Gloria Cole's public library. And if we're not aware of what those persons are, then they're not going to do anything for the community that they serve. So we got to remember the Gloria Cole's library is in part of the cultural center. But who culture are you serving? It's been a long time since, other than maybe what happened just recently over at the Whiting Auditorium, that there has been anything there that has been for African people in America in the city. And even when we go, and I'm not knocking it, but I'm just pointing out some observations. We go to the library. The last time we was at the library for the Flint United meeting or whatever, Flint Neighborhood United meeting, I saw people in the library, but I didn't see too many people trying to get books. They was on YouTube watching videos. I'm not knocking that, but go to the library because a lot of the stuff that we're finding on social media is just lightweight stuff compared to what's in the library that's got everything in it that you can read. That's the reason why I have several libraries in my home. There's not a room that you can go to that there's not books in. Every single room. So you can't come over my house and go like, oh, he just run this. No. As a matter of fact, I'm expunging some of the books that I don't want to have in there. And I got to take them somewhere. I don't want to take them to Goodwill. But take them somewhere. And whoever gets them, they can have them. But there's books all over my house. Front room, basement, living room, dining room. You can't go nowhere. Damn, this dude got, but yeah, no, yes. My office is full of stuff. I got to build another bookshelf in order to put the books on because the other bookshelf I had was that presswood and it fell apart. But this is what we need to be doing in our homes. So when we are sitting out there having this public outcry about these people talking about you can't teach no history, you can't teach your history. How is our history erased when our history is embedded in the blood of this country? Malcolm always said that because people don't like to read. And even with him, as scholarly as he was when he was a child, where did he learn how to read? He really learned how to read in jail. Because the streets and that whole ideology caught him because he didn't have anything. He saw what happened to his father. He saw what happened to his mother. And there are many people like that. Not just him. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people in the world that this same system who breaks our families, that's what they turn to. Excellent, Mama Q. Well, why is that? That's the racist stuff that happens that makes people start to talk about they don't like school. I don't care whether you like me or not. I'm not here for you to like. I'm not here to like you. What I am here to do is instruct you and guide you so that you can be, enough knowledge and you have enough knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to at least get that first key so you can do what you want to. I met a beautiful young lady at the McDonald's on Pearson Road. And she was with a former student who just graduated. And I didn't know. I fussed at her because she didn't tell me about her graduation. Should have known. That was my fault. But I ain't going to take the blame for it, even though I'm saying it right here with y'all. I wasn't going to tell her that. And her friend that she was with, when I asked her, well, did she finish school yet? She, well, I'm not in school right now. You mean you're not in school right now? How is that acceptable? I'm not saying the school family. If you got people that come in here talking about I don't like school and my teacher don't like me, who cares? Get out of that. It's not their job to like them. That's our job. But it's their job to, and it goes two ways. It's their job to try and keep them from reaching their full potential. It's our job to push them through that needle of the put that through the eye of the needle anyway. And we have to do it by, number one, surrounding them with our stuff. And I don't care nothing about these people talking about, oh, well, DEI and this and that and other, and we should boycott and there's all this. First and foremost, if you're going to boycott anything, you can't be talking about we're doing it for 5 to 7 days because they won't hire black people. Second, if you're going to do a real boycott, it's got to be organized. And you can't do a social media boycott and tell everybody to do this particular thing. You can, but those are people lightweight. That's lightweight stuff. You're not talking about 300 a whole year of walking, catching buses, and carpooling. You're not talking about 381 days of doing that. I'm talking about a week. And then what do typically people do? Well, we're not going to go to Target. Okay, we're not going to Target because they removed their DEI programs and blah, 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 blah. And this week, we're not going to go. But what do people typically do? Okay, we ain't going to go this week. But them 2 weeks before that, I'm filling up on all the stuff so I can survive until we can get back. That's how people think. Instead of, well, you know what? Because guess what? The other part about that is we like to be close to our oppressors. We love it. Brother Kwame Ture, and Brother Malcolm X gave us this, and Brother Hubert Roberts reiterates this. This is illusion of inclusion, where the proximity to the other element in the world makes us think that we've arrived and we're better. That's not the case. Well, not only that, Miss Sheila, you're absolutely right. But if we don't build community, then a black dollar doesn't mean anything, because it lasts six hours in our community. If the black dollar lasts 6 hours in our community, and then somebody else is keeping 100% of theirs, and they get 98% of ours, if we don't start to build community, then it means nothing. If 47 million people, it's 13% of the population, correct, big bro?
Yep.
If we decided that we're going to get up and really say, oh, you know what, we're not doing it. We're not doing this no more. Do you realize that we gave away schools? We gave away businesses. We gave away bus lines. We gave away trains. One of the first trains that was owned by black folks is in Little Rock, Arkansas. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. We gave all of this away in order to sit at the dinner table with somebody and hold hands. Let's be clear. Let's say you can sit at the dinner table and we're going to only hold your hand as long as you got money in it. You ain't got no money. This is the reason why this creation of have and have nots, where we can clearly see across the board, it's happening.
Yeah, we would be like the 9th richest country with our spending power.
Yeah, with our spending power. Over $1.8 trillion.
Yeah, we'd be like the 9th, I think we like, what, 12%?
12% of the population in this. Yeah. But where do we get our money from? That's the issue. We don't get our money from other people that look like us.
I know. We haven't built anything.
Well, right, because
recently. Let me say that recently. Not back in the day, like you was talking. We had our own movie theaters. Like you said, we ain't built no community.
Right.
Until we can get community, we gonna still run into this
Yeah,
situation.
and that's my point. So you're gonna have situations and teachers that are not going to care because they don't have to. They don't have to. Some do, and I'm not knocking them, but they don't have to care. So then they come in and they have these meetings or these whatever it was, and I had to catch myself because it was getting ready to go a lot deeper than just talking about some kid's name. Because where I was going to go was the real, and it's all, I get sick of going to meetings and talk about the trauma that our kids suffered, but people don't want to talk about where it comes from. That's the thing. Is nobody wants to talk about, oh, this kid suffered a trauma, but it's one thing for that, it's trauma to lose a parent, it's trauma to have a house fire, that's different. But where's this other trauma come from? But anyway, that's a whole nother, because that's part of my dissertation. So I'm not gonna get into that. Y'all gonna be the first to hear the book. I'm not gonna publish it till I get my PhD, and then y'all gonna be the first to be able to get the book at a family discount, and y'all gonna be the first to hear that book. But yeah, no, we have to. It's like Sister Kill was talking about. It's required reading. That's where we should do that. It's required to no more. You can go in your room and do your homework. Stop doing that because I'm a kid. I'm not going in my home and do my. I'm an adult, and I'm not gonna go in my room and go do my homework. I still go sit at the table to read because that's how I was raised. Now, there's books all over the place. There's books in the bathroom. There's books on the nightstand. There's a big old bookshelf in my room. The only room I ain't got a bookshelf is in my son's room, and he getting ready to have a bookshelf put in there. So because he got a thing about reading, but he's been picking up books lately. So good. Can't keep them. You can read them. Bring them back. Now I'll get you your own copy later on, but it's required. And we've been distracted by telephone and social media and iPads and all of this other stuff, and clothes and shiny watches and shiny rims on the tires and all of this other stuff. I gotta find this other video. It's about 20 minutes long, and I gotta find it. It was done in 2009 by a young man in Tennessee, and I had a copy of it, but somebody took it. Unless I really looked through my disc.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is that done on purpose?
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, here's the thing that we're still forgetting. And I'm not clear the reason why we're forgetting it. If you go to England and you pay attention to how the English people treat the Indian people, East Indian people, it was because we formerly occupied your land and we formerly owned you. So you're going to be treated as a second-class citizen or worse. You come to this country and you wonder and people wonder, well, then people that come from the immigrants come here and make it, the other groups of people that come here and make it, the Hispanic people come here and make it, the Indians come here and make it, the African people come here and make it. What's wrong with y'all? You're given the same opportunity. No, we're not. It's literally built into law. I don't care. Nobody can argue that if you only got 3 amendments in the Constitution, right? And that's if and only if, but you're still not considered to be part of anything. But in the preamble, it says indigenous savages and those we still consider to be 3/5. That's before the 3/5 compromise came into effect. So if we formerly owned you, why are we going to give you the same? Why are we going to level the playing field the same way as we do anybody else? Now, what we will do is we'll bring in these other groups. We'll give them opportunity to have access to go and exploit you in your community. We won't give you an opportunity to go and build your community by putting in a gas station or a liquor store, whatever. Not saying that we need those, but we'll give another group the opportunity to come in and do it. We'll give another group to come in and build their life for their families. But we won't give you the opportunity. Why? Because we formerly owned you. And then we're going to take somebody that looks like you and point a finger and say, you should be doing the same thing I'm doing. But how is that going to work out when the fact that you're a chosen one that they allow to get in because you want rather no cages and take the old can and talk about I want to be free or whatever because you've accepted the role and the fact that you were chosen.
Facts.
They chose you. Say this real quick, real quiet. Why you think they gave King a national holiday and not Malcolm? Now, grassroots people celebrate it. Grassroots people celebrate it. Malcolm X's birthday is May 19th. I take the day off. I don't even take my own birthday off. But I'll take Malcolm's birthday off. My birthday is May 3rd. If it fall on a weekday, I work. But if Malcolm's birthday fall on a weekday, I'm off. Marcus Garvey's birthday is in August, so I'm off anyway. August 18th, I think. 17th, 18th. Take it off. But our dollars don't have any power because we have no community to circulate it and back it up. So, to be honest, we shouldn't be talking about Uncle Mick having to write a grant in order to be able to get a building. It should happen because we support it. We support it. It's a black business.
But sometimes we got to be honest too. We done seen what black businesses, what people have been played. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I get everything you saying, but I get it why sometimes we be cautious on certain things that we do.
But we've been taught to be cautious.
Yeah,
we've been taught to be cautious, and we've also been taught to distrust.
Yeah, us, because that's that Willie Lynch syndrome.
Same thing that got us started.
Yeah,
was exactly what we were talking about.
I was looking for something for you too. I had some I was finna bring up. I don't know how I got it because I've been on X a lot. But did you see what Godfrey was talking? I like Godfrey, the comedian.
Yeah,
because it's going into what you was just talking about.
Yeah. Because I think I sent you one.
Yeah, that's what I'm on here looking for now. But I think it had the music on. That was on.
Man, we have played it, but I don't care nothing about
it. Yeah, because you don't want to get flags. You can lose your channel. Oh, okay. Yeah, when they had a different one. But this one I do got from you that you did send me, and I wanted to put this up on here for the family. Hold on, I got it. This one, but it's like, how can I get this thing to start?
Because I had to make sure I send it to you on Messenger instead of your regular text. I got you. Yeah.
Now, this one did make sense. It was talking about the Epstein is the end.
Oh, that one. I sent that to you this morning.
Yeah.
But here, and what did he say? Go ahead. If you can find it and play it, then we'll let him talk and then we'll expound on it later.
Put it on right now. Shit, it might have to come back, start from the beginning. I got this off. Well, brother Elliott got this off Instagram. Hold on, let me.
Beaver Marie, send me that. Oh, and this is one of them content creator dudes that you know.
Yeah, good morning, B. Marie. I got them.
The fact that we now have confirmation that what the conspiracy theorists have been saying for years is true, that Pizzagate is real, and that there's no such thing as left and right, there's no such thing as a sovereign nation. There's just ultra wealthy people exploiting the poor to the point where they can get little girls and do whatever they want to them on an island. And all the evidence of it can exist. And instead of there being any repercussion at all, it's going to be discussed a little bit by a few people on Twitter, and they're going to continue doing exactly as they did before. If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, if there's no mass raids, mass arrests, mass public trials, you may as well just give up on politics. You may as well just give up. The system is so rotten, it's never going to be fixed. Even transparency isn't fixing any of this stuff. And the reason for it is not because the elites are actually so smart. It's not because they have all this power. It's because the crowd is apathetic. You care because you're on the internet, you're on Twitter. You might be watching this video on Instagram and you mentioned it to your friends sometimes. But by and large, nobody gives a shit. They've got us so distracted trying to pay our own bills, arguing with each other, have a problem with our neighbor over the lawn being mowed, don't like a black guy, don't like a white guy, don't like Mexicans. They put Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. He speaks Spanish. That distracted most of you. What were you watching the Super Bowl in the fucking first place for? Who gives a shit? The fact that they can distract people so easily, they can divide people so heavily, means that most people at home are apathetic. They don't give a shit. If you walk around, I'm in New York now, you walk around New York and say, have you heard about the Epstein thing? Most people go, yeah, I heard. But they don't really care because they got to pay their bills and they have enough problems and they're stressed enough and they weren't there and it's someone else's problem to fix. They've got us so massively demoralized to the point now that every single conspiracy theorist can be proven true, and that you can know you are paying taxes to evil billionaires who intend on raping your daughters, and still no one's going to do shit. Nothing's going to happen. The system's going to keep on limping on, and you're going to pretend that this Epstein expose fixed something. Oh yeah, I'm sure Epstein was the only man who knew girls for the elites. I'm sure anyone who's been anywhere near the top, let me tell you, there's plenty of guys like him. Plenty. If not.
No, you back on here. Let me take this out.
So the young man right here is a content creator. He kind of became popular after Kevin Samuels, right? Kevin Samuels passed away. Some other people picked up the baton and was kind of pushing a little bit more at young women who, were out there doing their thing or whatever. And he became rich by doing that. And then something happened and they tried to get him. So I'm going to say this, and people can say what they want to. The thing that happened with Bill Cosby was some BS. Here's a man that was making business moves. He supported HBCUs. He was making business moves. He lived in Hollywood. And if anybody knows anything about whether it's new Hollywood or old Hollywood, it ain't changed. But you don't have any evidence that he did these things, only hearsay. There's no physical genetic information. There's no physical evidence that he did these things. And yet you let him get lynched. And we bought into it. Here's the thing, that's Hollywood. But those people and those HBCUs and those other people they supported, then all of a sudden you dogging them out saying this, that, and other because it's popular. But you wasn't saying that when he was making NBC money. Now, if it was known then, you should have said something then, but then you don't want to cut your money flow off. Good morning, Sister Yogi. Good morning, B. Marie, and everybody else. We appreciate y'all. Hey, Sprag, we appreciate you. You don't want to cut your money off. So when he starts to turn his attention to maybe personally trying to buy NBC, now all of a sudden these things come up. And we jump on the bandwagon. No evidence. Now, here's the thing. Every time you turn around and you look at your Facebook page or you look at your social media page, they're talking about somebody missing. Little girl, little boy, whatever. Somebody missing, somebody run away, whatever. And ain't no massive Amber Alert because they probably too old considering whatever. But every time you turn around, I promise on any given day, you'll find if you look at your feed and you go far enough, you'll find 10, 15 people or more missing. Now, if he's telling the truth, then these groups of people in this Epstein files or whatever are going to walk away scot-free. Because one of the brothers, and I think I shared him with you, he's a Muslim brother, and he said that people, and I understand our distraction with bills, I understand our distraction with life, what's going on in life, whatever. I get that. People ask me, hey man, you want to go out? Yesterday. Hey, you want to go out? Nope. I just wanted to stay at the house and chill because I'm dealing with some emotional stuff. You know, I just lost my brother, whatever, all of that. So I didn't want to go nowhere. But at the same time, I'm not distracted by what goes on where I work. I'm not distracted by what goes on, in the world. We're distracted by, I'm gonna want to go here and do this. I want to go here and do that. I want to go, but we got those elements right in our face that are doing things out of order with our men, women, and children, and we think it's okay. What y'all mentioned the other day on the NIP? What's that dude's name? And you said Art didn't want to fight him because this dude is
talking about Johnny Cole.
Yeah,
John Cole.
Okay. Why is he even walking? Nah, he may be locked up now, but why is he walking around? Why is he even?
Because he had protection. Just to be honest with you.
Oh, see,
it was certain people in the. It was certain individuals like he had the mayor. Like I said, it was one individual. I said his name. Kevin Tay had called it out, but in our communities, that stuff is look like. I know a lot of people want to act like we don't look down on that type of behavior, but in the Black community, it is looked down on. And I think people didn't want to really and I want to assume some of the parents didn't want that stuff out. You know what I'm saying, on what was going on. But I get what you're saying, but when it was being called out, he had people defending him.
But and the thing is how, if your behavior is out of order, and thank you very much, Ms. Sheila, for your expression of condolences. I appreciate it. How, but see, here's the other part about that. Mm-hmm. If the conduct and actions and the norms in our community are out of order, then when you have conduct that's out of order, we have to protect it, and we consider that to be okay when it's not.
But see, because I don't think people look at things as strange like this. You might see a grown man. I'm not trying to be I'm just scenario. People don't look at a grown man hanging around teenagers. They don't see nothing weird with that. You know what I'm saying? Back in our day, you had your coach, or you see a grown man who's not with a woman or anything. Usually when we came up, our coaches, you saw the dynamic male, female.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when you went to the coaches' houses, they had female. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just what you saw. You didn't really see all the time like it was a female, companion. Like now you'll be looking at this. Sometimes you look at it different coming to the gang stuff. You see elders, on the block with the young ones, but you still see male, you know what I'm saying? Right. But like when you looking at just an older man in this, you rarely see 40-year-old, 50-year-old dudes hanging with teenagers.
Not unless
coaches,
real mentors.
Right.
Not some, and there ain't no lovey-dovey stuff there. Like the young man that I've told y'all about that have come around and I've let them shovel snow, whatever. I told them, if you want to come learn some stuff, you come over in the summertime when school's out or when school starts to break and we get longer weather and the weather's decent and we ain't got snow and water everywhere. And I'm going to come and teach you some things. But I said that. Ain't no weird stuff behind it.
But see, that's the thing. It's like we don't question that no more.
Right.
I'm like not knocking nobody, saying whatever. I'm just saying you didn't question that like that. Like even with the pastors, who will be thinking pastors will be messing with the priest? Let me clear this up.
No, they ain't no priests. They not a priest. They pastors.
Yeah, but who would have thought they would be messing with young boys? Even though you got some stuff coming out
The
with
Catholics
the pastors.
do it, so we finding that we doing the same thing.
And that's what I'm saying. But most parents, when you thinking this guy, you know what I'm saying? This is how we easily to get tricked. Yeah, and that's the thing right there, Mama. Of course, she said it better than I could say it. We don't question the purpose of this older man hanging out with the young boys. Then when you seeing certain stuff, like I told you, Clack, I want to say it was the teacher, Nadia, if I'm not mistaken, that Johnny Cole was trying to fight, and he was with one of the let me get that right. He was with one of the trustees on the board, education, trying to fight a woman. That's when Clack was trying to defend the teacher, but he was the president. But didn't nobody see that? Didn't nobody make nothing out of that when you saw a man trying to fight a woman? You see what I'm saying? He didn't even get criticized for that because he had people that whatever the help that he had, that like this stuff was, because it was like he was crashing out because he must knew some stuff was coming out.
Yeah, but okay. And I'm not trying to make assumption about his life because I don't know him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have an issue. And you're right, because what we do is we live under this thing now where as you see something, you ignore it. You don't pay attention. You see a older man with a young girl, we make jokes about it. Got to be her sugar daddy, whatever.
Yeah.
When who knows what could be going on. Then people want to say, well, it ain't none of your business. Well, yes, the hell it is, because that's part of our problem. I'm not trying to be in your business. I want to make sure everything is on, as the old folks say, copacetic, right? I want to make sure everything's on the up and up. Right. I wouldn't have it, and I'm a different type of person anyway. What you doing hanging out with them young brothers? Well, first, I'm not going to say ain't none of your business.
Yeah.
Hey, man, can you help out? Because these young brothers are doing this, that, the other, and can you help in any way? Instead of, ain't none of your business what I'm doing, because then that's suspect. And what we will always want to do is we want to turn a blind eye to things that are out of order. And it's okay. No, it's not. Because if you do something wrong and you're out of order and your intentions are wrong, even though I don't care nothing about your lifestyle, but your intentionality is wrong, that's when it becomes a problem. Yeah, if your lifestyle is what it is, who knows? I don't care. It don't matter to me. But at the same time, are you really working with these young people? And are you trying to groom them? Are you trying to teach them and to be right, regardless of what your background is?
But I'm just saying, you got to think. But people will question stuff back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
I remember my granny, and I can go with Flossie or Maylou or Grandma. They would be like, "What you doing?" It's just certain things that was unacceptable. To me, it goes back what I listened to the minister say before. He said they make evil seem fair.
Yeah, absolutely. But who does that?
Yeah.
Let's make sure we point the right finger. Yeah. Because we also follow that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I said earlier that we like to be in proximity to oppressors.
Yeah.
Oppression and oppressors.
Yeah, but I'm thinking when he mean making evil seem fair, like what we see, prime example, Epstein file.
Right. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Just like my man said.
Yeah.
If nobody gets prosecuted, then how do you trust the political process?
Right. And that's the thing. But it is speaking truth into it when you hear, because I remember Miss Gladys always being in the chat say it's a uniparty. But when you heard him say it, he basically speaking what she been screaming. And
what have we been saying?
Yeah, left wing,
right wing, same bird.
And I think, and he just went a little more deeper into it. Like how he said, we was worried about most people. I didn't care about the halftime show.
Right.
To be honest with you,
because it didn't matter no way.
And that's why I said it before. America is a melting pot. You got every nationality in here, just like New York. When they say it's a melting pot,
right?
What they mean, you got different ethnic groups up in there. So I guess people would feel some type of way. That's why when you looking at it, see, we was tripping off of what the Puerto Ricans we really weren't tripping. We know who was mad about it. Let's just be honest.
Right.
They was more mad about it, but yet they overlooking about this going on with the Epstein's file.
But so now here's the thing, of course, and they're already looking from the bit that I've been able to follow or desire to follow. They're already looking at dismissing as much of that stuff as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So why do we trust the system? If you're gonna prosecute a man, throw him in jail for making a company millions and billions of dollars, and because he desired to buy the company because he saw the lack of programming and whatever he saw, you're going to come up with these allegations that he did some things to some women years ago that his wife never said anything and has not said anything about. And if we're talking about Hollyweird, what you prosecute him for and you won't prosecute nobody else?
Didn't I give you all the stories on Hollyweird? 2 different incidents. And like I say, OG Papa would say it's bears being repeated again. When I told the family about, I want to say it was in 93 or 94. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I think it was Arsenio Hall show. If it wasn't, it was the Vibe show that they had. 3-6 Mafia had came. They said they went to a matching party. Arsenio Hall.
Yep.
Gangster Boo.
Yep.
She went to talking about the different rooms she went into. And Arsenio Hall cut her off, like, oh, hold on, they went to commercial.
Right.
Go back to when Cat Williams did Pimp Chronicles.
Yep.
People forget he was at a matching party. Remember when he talked about Professor Ogilvy?
Yep.
When he walked in the room?
Yep.
It's the 2 different. Did people forget when they was talking about, rest his soul, Eazy-E, when they was like the matching parties he was throwing, what was going on? Remember they accused, like how they said Magic Johnson got caught up. But this is, even when you looking at, remember the Patriots owner when he got caught up in this Robert Kraft down there
in Florida at a strip club with a stripper, but he get the chance, and he's still the owner of the team.
Why was they gonna take it from him?
Hey, I'm just saying. Yeah. But you prosecute Bill Cosby for something you can't prove.
Don't forget this one. Look what they did to Michael Jackson.
All right, that's right. You turned him into something else that he never was, and you don't have any evidence of it. No proof, no evidence. And just because, he went on and paid that person off. Well, he went and paid that person off just to get this mess out of the way. And then you end up having them killed.
Yeah, but this is the game that they play. Like, they will start eliminating stuff before they get locked up.
Right. But see, here's the other part about that. Once you make a decision to make a deal with the devil, you gotta play the game.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You gotta play the game.
Because if you go against it,
then you out of here.
Yeah, because just think about it. How did that, and this ain't what Mick said, I will pull it up for y'all again. When all them people that got caught in the sting out there in Las Vegas. Remember one guy, he got to go back to his home country, Israel.
Right.
But look who the the district DA was.
Right.
But look at the other ones that's from here that's still caught in the sting.
So,
see, they not finna extradite him.
No.
But how was he? But you got to look at the connection from the DC. And people not, and this is what I was trying to say on the net the other day when I was like, when you looking at what happened to Kendrick Johnson down there in Atlanta, in Georgia, might not have been Georgia, 12 years later.
Right.
Still nothing. You got and when they looking at the video footage that was cut off.
Right.
But when you got the district attorney, you got the judges.
You got everybody all wrapped up. But see, this is the other thing we forget. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah.
The judges, the lawyers, the prosecuting attorneys, the police force all tied up together.
Facts.
They have to be.
Facts.
Because if the police not arresting people, none of that, you don't need judges. If we made a decision that we're going to do the best that we can, never commit a crime.
Right.
Police force go out of business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
Yeah.
and if other people make a decision not to commit a crime,
Facts.
they go completely out of it. You don't need the
Yeah.
judges no more.
Yeah.
You don't need the prosecuting attorneys no more. You don't need the lawyers anymore.
Right.
If that happens, then you eliminate a sector that makes a living off the created poor,
Facts.
and you give them only one option.
Just like ain't the prison systems on Wall Street?
Yeah. They make money off of it. They trade it in business.
Then they just build a new detention center.
Yeah, over there on Pasadena.
What they should call in the Pasadena Playhouse.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't built that for they can't put them kids nowhere.
No, but see, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. A while back on one of the shows, that if we're not doing our part in the educational system, they're going to do their part for you.
Facts.
If third and fourth grade reading levels determine the help them determine the outcome of somebody's life, right? Now, I wish we could play it, but we can't. There's a artist, his name is G Herbo, that comes from
I know he's Chicago.
I
know you talking.
He does this one, and I loved it. I'm like, why don't you listen to his new stuff? No, because the one he did called Malcolm is the one that speaks to me the most of the rest of the music. And if you listen to it, it's called Malcolm. His name is G Herbo. And he talks about how this young man's life, as compared to his brother, was set differently than his brother's life. Brother goes to college, becomes a doctor. This young man's life, he ended up being in the streets, giving his life to prison at the age of 18. Done on purpose, done by design. The very end, he says his life was determined when he was first born, and it was like he was 6 pounds, whatever. At the very, very last little bit, man, I love that song because that lays out the life for a whole lot of people. And they don't understand that if you making a choice, they got something they got a consequence for you.
Oh, facts.
I don't understand how many people we go to the Florida Everglades and decide to stick your hand in the water.
Do it if you want to lose it.
Right. There's a consequence for it.
Yeah. Do it if you want to lose
If you get a dog and my little pup is about 80, 90 pounds now, 11 months old. If I decide to beat his ass every day, that's the last cuss word. I ain't going to use no more. If I decide to beat him every day, what is he going to do eventually? 80 pounds, 600-pound bite force. I'm going to pay for that.
Oh, facts.
He going to make me pay. Oh, yeah, you jump on me one more time. Hit on me one more time. And guess what? I'm going to clean your clock. And there ain't going to be nothing that I'm going to do to get him off, especially if I ain't got nothing near me. We're the political system doesn't work. We have prayers and hopes that if we vote, that'll make a change. If it's not going to.
Facts.
We know that the judicial system is built on the backs of the working poor and people who think that they're slick enough to outthink the system that was designed by criminals.
That's what I was going to say. Because you got to look at it like this. See, we're not being honest about the whole situation. That's why I get disgusted with it, because they don't want to. I think we don't want to admit, because like I have been saying it ever since I played that video, where it's a cold war going on between the conservative and the liberal,
right?
And then the blacks is caught in the in the Civil War, because we not being honest. Like I was having a conversation, and I was like, I said, so what the conservatives see? They want to lie and act like if the South would have won, that blacks would have been better living up under the South. If they would have won, the Confederates would have won.
Who want to argue that?
No, I'm just saying.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying when you saying the Confederates, when you saying the conservatives and the liberals,
Oh,
if
I
the
got
conservatives
you.
take over,
it's the same thing.
How's that? Because we right back at it again.
Well,
this the problem that they had back then. We right, except it was about who had the money,
right? And but that was the rich white male landowners wrote the Constitution. Most of them had slaves. One of y'all favorite, Thomas Jefferson, was sleeping with a 13, 14-year-old girl since he brought her to the plantation and had children with her. One of y'all other favorites, Strom Thurmond, had a black child as much as he hated black folks. But yet part of the highway in South Carolina is named after him. The largest training base in the Army, I believe, it may be the second largest, for new recruits. Right, there you go. Go read the new Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Absolutely excellent. It's named after Andrew Jackson, a racist. So how is it that we're still illiterate and ignorant about what's going on, and because we're choosing to be ignorant about what this country is, who the people are, and how the system operates? Thank you. Incarcerated listen, we get $7,000 a year for a student. Meanwhile, a prison gets $50,000 in Michigan. 56, 57, or $58,000 a year per prisoner. Meanwhile, a student gets $7,000, $8,000 now. It might be.
Now let that sink in. You were paying more to be in prison than you would to pay in school.
Now, if you flip that around and pay, but nobody makes money then, right?
Yeah.
So you got a prison here in Lapeer, you got a prison in Coldwater, and it's outside of nowhere. And how many people that look like black folks in the prison, and white folks work there?
See what Sheila said. Imagine trying to make Sally Hansen.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing
with Thomas Jefferson foolery. But that's how they play us.
That's how they, and that's we romanticized that she wanted to be raped, just like no different than Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And John, whatever the dude's name was, he stole her. He kidnapped her.
They forget about Sarah Barton. But this is the stuff that they do.
And then they want to romanticize it.
Yeah.
And then we fall into the romanticism of it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, well, how is it that if they took your child, and I'm talking to my women on here, right? They take your child while you're standing there watching and throw your child into the swamp to catch and shoot a gator. Your child's gator bait.
But they want you to believe that them people for back there don't have no seeds in today. They'll tell you all that bloodline.
They want to act like they didn't profit from, and they don't profit from that.
See, Genesee County gets
60,000 as compared to less than 8,000. Check out, all right, so you do this. How much do we pay per child to go to school? How much is that? I think it's between 7 and 8.
I bet you it ain't no 60.
It definitely ain't no 60. Trust and believe that.
Yeah, so that tell you all you need to know. They more worrying about, but remember the black codes?
They still exist. Where do you walk around somewhere and you have loitering signs? No loitering. That was for black folks. Miss Merritt, so find out real quick how much they pay for a child for school education. Yeah, Miss Luna, trust me. The only places you can stand is at a bus stop. And you better not stand there long. You better be there for the bus line, or you would have a police officer come by you. Where it says no loitering, those were for black people, black men specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And if they caught you jaywalking, you go to jail, especially down south. They would transport you from one county to another and use you as a chain. What'd you get in jail for? I've been in jail for 10 years on a chain gang for jaywalking. When many times we had to walk in the middle of the street in the gutters in order to get off the sidewalk for white folks. And why are we forgetting this?
Because we can go and have crab boils.
Jesus
we can go
Christ.
to Vegas. We can go to Miami. It's more of us at the award shows. Like I just told, I'm just listen. I was just watching when they was just having wherever they was at the Grammys or something,
Yeah,
or the Oscars or something. I was listening to the one guy, Mark Ruffalo. I might be saying his name wrong, but Catch Me If You Can. He played in that and played the Incredible Hulk.
He played Incredible Hulk
in the
lately,
Avengers
right?
too. But it man, he was like, how are we celebrating when there's people starving, there's people freezing? And it made me think back here when they threw the Flint, they had the Black Gala here. I'm not trying to take no shots at none of the boule that was there. I'm not trying to be taking but it seemed kind of weird that you want to highlight just that 2 or 3% who doing good in Flint, but where's the Black Panthers them at? Like when they was feeding communities. Where's all these other people that was like, you don't get me wrong, you do see Pastor Tom, you see certain churches who is trying to do something, but it's like, how is the blacks, how y'all partying when you seeing the rest of your city burning down?
Cause man, we don't care nothing about that. We are close to the oppressor, and we enjoy the benefits and the crumbs of being close to the oppressor.
Oh no, I was saying what you were saying, Deborah.
Yeah, we got you. Hold on. Where's she at? Miss
Who?
What's her name? Hold on. She the one who came out with the 650.
Michelle Merritt.
Yeah, Miss Merritt. Come on now. Find the other one. Cause
I'm thinking it's 8-some thousand.
it might be 8.
I think it's somewhere between that, because I remember they had brought it up on here before.
Yeah, but the crazy part is we're talking about $60,000 per person versus 8.
Because
it's almost 7.5 times more money on a prisoner than it is on a student.
Because they're looking at getting a person in prison is more money than you graduate. I mean, you coming out of high school becoming something of yourself. But ain't nobody looking at that. Like, you would be thinking, like, you should have seen protesting, like, about them building that new detention center. But see what it is, they let all this crime go unchecked, because truly you can't stop crime from happening.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't want it to.
Yeah.
Because you got people that make money off of it.
You know, it's big, and it's sad, it's big business.
Right.
You know, that's just like, they know, and I'm just saying, they know what's going on. If they know this is an impoverished community, you know crime gonna be high. Well, you made it be impoverished on purpose. Yeah. They knew when General Motors was leaving what was gonna happen. You took money away. You didn't replace it with nothing. Remember, all you didn't even have to have a high school diploma to get in General Motors. Right. Okay, here's the Genesee County. $96,008. $9,608. $9,600. $9,600 per student, but $60,000 per prisoner. So that's like 50 and like 400. Yeah. Some change. $50,000 more. Right. That you're paying for somebody that you're not rehabilitating. Do you hear all the stuff that be going on in the jails? Like, it's downright diabolical. This is why you can't see when they say some things are not natural and things are unnatural. Right. Because just take a person out. and put them just in what you think gonna happen.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah, but
Okay, so I just found out it's $10,050 for the year for this year, starting in 25, 26. I know. I wanted to put that. What did I do? I did something. Hold on. Oh, I'm back. Did it come up?
Yeah, it came up on there.
Okay. Compared to 60,000, that's insanity.
Wow.
The prison guys make more than we do.
For real?
Oh, hell yes. Because they're considered to be up under a much more dangerous job.
Wow. That tell you all you need to know. I tell you all you need to know. Who remember when county inmates from Genesee County were sent to Midland jail because of overpopulation? Who you think got the money? It was shared between jails.
Yeah, and Midland Dow. Absolutely. Yeah. So how do we? Okay. Here we go. Solution part of the day.
Facts.
How do we then stop this blood flow from happening? The only way you do it is by understanding your culture and understanding what has happened to you as a people in this culture. In this society. It's not a culture, it's a society. From there, the repair has to take place by, instead of ignoring what happened during the period of enslavement and warfare on African people and Native American people, you understand it and you do just like the Jewish people say, it's not going to happen again. Never again. Now, we also have to understand that we don't start to build communities and we're not family. So if I come to Philadelphia and I let y'all, hey, I'm in Philly, I'm expecting whoever that's in Philly, you better come holler at me. I'm staying at this hotel or whatever. Hey, bro, when you going to be here? I'm going to be in such and such time. If I'm going to New York, if I'm in Oakland, I might go to New York sometime in April. If I go to Oakland and somebody's out that way, come see me because we're supposed to be family. And we have people, and I thank you, sister, for even bringing that up, that think that their narrative is we were saved by being enslaved. How? That's insanity. Why are we even listening to them? Because you know why? These things right here, that anybody have a voice, then this can be unreasonable as hell, and we still listen to it. I can say, social media is giving me the ability to say what I want to. How? You can say what you want to, but where's your proof? I moved to Grand Blanc. I live in Swartz Creek, but I live over here. But you still have to, you're going to abide by their rules. You don't have a choice. If they tell you turn the music off at 10 o'clock, you better turn the music up. They tell you to quiet down at 10, 11, quiet down. You're going to live by that. And this thing they call a white flight, that ain't white flight. They just another form of segregation. Because if we talking about integration, then my school is 50-50 mix.
But that was just a good way that was coded language though. When they say that, like, it was like, no, they didn't want to live around you. We should, we needed to just be honest with that. That's why you got your Burden, your Grand Blanc, your the Flushings. And we only 12% of the population.
Mm-hmm. Now, hold on real quick.
Go ahead.
But look, put up that what Miss Denise Cousins said.
I got you. Quick. This one right here, right?
Mm-hmm. This last statement she said. And honestly, right? Thank you very much. Thank you. And here everybody else want to put up blinders, black folks included, that act like these things are not happening. Right? And what Miss Cousins is saying is she didn't have an idea until she became involved with somebody and had children, that now I have children and this is what you all face every single day, every moment of the day. But everybody else want to put on blinders and think that just because it's them and not me, I don't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And because God let you to be with somebody that's a different race and you have children, now you get a glimpse about what's happening in our community.
Fact.
Done by design, on purpose, because we formerly owned you.
And it show you every blue moon. You get it. I mean, well, because we be forgetting, and that's why I put up Sheila comment. We so busy thinking we have overcome that we have forgotten the struggle.
Well, yeah, you know what? That whole, even singing that, because I got into it with somebody about the difference between the Black National Anthem and the Star Spangled Banner or whatever. We telling you we've got bombs bursting in the air, meanwhile you crying and praying. What the hell? Because that's all we could do when we fought back about in everything. If it weren't for the black soldiers that fought for the Confederacy, we would have never won and beat them at Fort Sumter, because they opened the gates to let the black soldiers come in who didn't have ammunition. All they had was bayonets. So the 54th and the 55th of Massachusetts that came in there, and the 110th from Michigan, or 105th from Michigan, came in there with no ammo because the white soldiers were scared that they would turn their guns, turn their muskets, and shoot them. But they went in there with bayonets. But the gates was left open by the black folks when word got that they was going to lose and we could get y'all free. So the black people that were forced to fight for the Confederacy, and some chose to because they still wanted that life, open up the gates and let the black soldiers in. How about the first 13 to 15 or maybe even 19 winners of Kentucky Derby, of the Kentucky Derby horse race, since it's been going, were black. And guess what some of those jockeys did when they retired? Go back to the plantation that they were raised on and lived their life there when they retired till they died, raising horses.
Hey, Denise Cousins, you hit the nail on the coffin.
Man, you.
She said, I try to educate my white family and friends and share so much because it's part of my life. She said, but some of both races don't want to deal with something uncomfortable unless it's their struggle.
That's right.
Right.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
That right there is it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because they just like push it to the side.
Yeah.
Because because me and Trevor always had these conversations when I'd be like, no, because my thing is, if it just go conservative, it's not going to benefit us. And that's the thing what I be saying. And I'm not saying, because my biggest thing is, I'm not saying all because I don't know really the percentage of how racist the Republican Party is. But I know the Democrats can't be too far behind.
No, the Democratic Party was the one who was started after they're the carpetbaggers and the wigs.
Yeah.
And was it wigs? Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. They're the carpetbaggers and the wigs who they didn't come in. They were more racist than the Republicans.
Right.
The Republicans weren't racist
What's
at
up,
first.
Chris Caleb?
Excuse me. What's up, Chris? The Republicans weren't racist at first because people, we're going to vote because Lincoln freed us and he was a Republican. That's how we started doing that. And Frederick Douglass said he supported what Lincoln was talking about. And we followed that without doing any reading because we couldn't read.
Yeah, but if you go see people, they want him and Frederick Douglass was cool. No, they need to stop that lying. Go if you go look what Lincoln, how he talked about Lincoln was a racist.
Yep.
They keep acting like Lincoln. Go look at the conversation that him and Frederick Douglass had. Do y'all think them was friends having a conversation?
No.
It was one superior, one inferior.
Yep. He said, I will never allow the inferior race to be equal to the superior race.
And said he didn't want an inch of light coming through the blacks.
So there, even with one of our teachers, J.A. Rogers, claimed that he was a black president.
Well, they had someone where they did say
he was a little mixed.
some mulattoes, but they was rougher on the darker ones.
Right,
if you go look at that, that's how you separated. Well, I'm in the house, you in the field. You got the field Negro and the house Negro.
And all of this goes back to what we first started this lovely discussion at the very beginning about the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah.
We have it too.
Yeah. Oh man.
We suffer with that. Y'all know what she thinks she wearing, or who she thinks she is, or why she think, and this and that and other, and all this other stuff. And now I can be able to wear and do what I want to because we don't have any cultural morals and mores anymore.
No, they destroyed that.
Yeah. Well, we helped.
Yeah.
Because but social media was the icing on top of the cake that helped us say that you can go out here and do this and do that and do the other, and you can wear bonnets and you can be ratchet and you can do all this other stuff. And so what did people do? They start following it.
But they could just think about it. When you had Two Live Crew, because remember we had the raunchiness. Now they make Two Live Crew look like child's play.
Man, child's play. They look like nuns.
Yeah, because compared to what it was, but even then they was trying to control it.
Right.
But if you look, like I said, rap had a balance. You had your conscience and you had your gangster, because what people fail to realize when they say street music, do they understand conscience come from the streets?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's part of the streets, the elements of the street too. They always want to leave the conscious part out. Well, I was just looking at some brother today. I was watching this morning when I was up, when he was talking about when he was putting music out, he was like, when he was trying to put positive out, he like, the record execs, they won't give you the push for that.
They don't want that. Yeah. Why? Because then, that's another element that says, look, when I first started listening to rap, the first group I listened to was X-Clan.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let me back up. The first group I listened to, now heard anything about this sound, anything conscious, before it's called conscious rap, was the Last Poets.
Mm-hmm.
From there, the street music with Kool Moe Dee and all of them other brothers is one thing, but when it came to conscious rap, it was X-Clan, Public Enemy, KRS-One. They still in my rotation. They still in my rotation. You ride with me. This is what we bumping. We in the car. We in the truck. This was bumping every day. One day I was listening to it going to school. I said, oh, man, I need to chill out before I go in because I'm all hyped up, right?
Yeah.
Now is hypersexualization. Every woman, you see everything that you know what she looked like while her telling you what she looked like or showing you what she looked like because she's always 3/4 naked.
Mm-hmm.
That is not fashion. Models, and I've got a young goddaughter, and she wants to be a model. And I said, hey. And I told her, I said, you got to understand this. You're tall, you're statuesque, you're built by the way, but they're gonna ask you to you're gonna put on a pair of earrings and be naked. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not okay. You better understand the more the closer you get to 18, and if you continue to follow that, this is what they're gonna ask you to do. And when she run across it, she's like, yeah, you were right. I said, there's no model from all of them, no actress, all of them, that you are now at some point in time, you're going to take your clothes off of them because they like to see what we look like. They hate us so much that they always want to be around us because we're the coolest goddamn thing on the planet. That's 2 cuss words. I'm done. Okay, we're the coolest group of people on the planet. We influence everything. I've seen sagging in Africa, bro. Africa.
No,
I'm telling, bro. I was like, what is y'all doing?
No, I believe you. I was trying to find a clip. I didn't share it. to Godfrey because
To
he,
Godfrey.
Godfrey Nigerian. Because I'll be watching the one show with the Nigerians on there. They from here.
Yeah.
And they tried to
I'll find it because I think I shared it.
They was trying to say blacks was lazy. And he nipped that shit
And
in the bud.
He crucified that dude.
Yeah, and I've been watching them. That's why I don't like a lot of them because they always be trying to.
But that's the propaganda that they get fed in order to look down on black folks.
Yeah.
And this is across the board.
Right.
Brothers and sisters I drum and dance with.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, okay, well, you know that, but do you know this?
Right.
And they'll get quiet.
Yeah.
I had one brother that I talked to, he from Mali. If I call him right now and he's home, he's not traveling somewhere in the world, he will answer the phone. Hey, man, what's going on in Mali? And he will tell me.
Right.
Because when I talked to him, it wasn't I come in from a position of knowing. I may not know everything that's going on over there, but if I called him and he answered the phone, he'll tell me what's going on. We'll be on the phone a couple of hours because it's not about, I just want to know about drumming. I don't care nothing about that. I want to know about the culture. How do we live? How we eat? Even though I know it's highly Muslim. I get that too, but there's still underlying cultural elements of it. Right? There's still underlying cultural elements of it that we can sit down and take something from.
Facts.
And that's what we're not doing.
Facts.
We're just over here hodgepodge making it, figuring it out. And we have more culture and more unified identity in the 60s when we're going through our Civil War than we do now.
Yeah. But it's just like they divided us from the rest of the world, the blacks here.
Yeah.
They act like and that's what pisses me off when I see the other nationalities come. Even the ones that be dark, because they get treated, if you go look in every country, the white and black dynamic of it, the lighter's on top, the darker's on the bottom.
On purpose.
And it just blows my mind that when they do come here, they have this, but like me and Brother Roberts, he always tell me, he said, brother, you don't know, and they tell them when they coming through immigration. He said, this is the stuff they be telling them, and it's so sad, like even when I said, like, because a lot of times, me and Trevor, unless I'm at physical therapy, I talk to some of the Republicans or the Democrats. But I tell y'all, it's like they Civil War, they Cold War that they playing is downright, to me, it's diabolical because, like I said, one was, like I said, Trevor conservative Republican and my good friend at the gym, he a liberal, a Democrat. Both of them had the same approach. Was what happened to what's my man name in California? I can't think of his name that got killed on New Year's.
Porter.
Yeah, Porter Jr.
Yeah.
They was like they both of them took the side of the police officer.
Yeah,
an ICE agent. But then when it came to Minnesota,
they wanted to take the side.
No, they had two different views.
Oh.
Trevor's view was still, his view was she was interfering with the work with the ICE officers was doing. The liberal was like, the Democrat, he was like, they was wrong. And I'm like, but you know what I'm saying? It was like they both had the same view on far as what happened in California, but they had a different view on what happened in Minnesota.
Because you got a black person that got killed in California, and we owned you formerly.
Yeah.
And there was a white woman that got killed in Minnesota, and she's a white woman.
Yeah, and that's what it basically.
And that's all it basically. See, as much as we want to be in denial that there's racism, that's all that this comes to.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it. Because if you look at it, you're looking at the conservatives. The conservatives is like, hold on. And I told people they didn't want to listen to it, but Joe Biden told them, said by 2040, and they said 2050, America. He said whites would be the minority in America, right?
Yeah.
Who you think doing all the hollering? What side is doing all the hollering?
Yeah, white folks.
Because they mad about said the Browning. But see, Pat Buchanan wrote that book, Death to the West, and people forgot. But see, and that's what they don't want to admit. That what it is, the liberals like, listen, let's bring more people in. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bring the Hispanics in, however they want to say it. We'll bring them from the Latin countries, let them come on in. Because they're still looking for new workers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They're looking for new workers.
And we ain't trying to do
that. I see what you're saying, Chris, and that's what it is. And when they looked at it, and they like, and the liberal and the conservatives like, nah, we gonna end up being the minorities, even though they don't want to say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? They'll
Right.
use it as, because if you look at it, they only focusing on one particular segment that's coming through on immigration.
Just like when I saw something, and I don't know if I shared it with you, that the white South Africaners that came over here now are facing the same thing that black folks face.
Mm.
You thought you was gonna come over here with political asylum, and you're facing the same thing that black folks face, and you didn't think that you were. Now you're
But
talking about trying to go back to South Africa.
but how can you be mad at the South Africans if they telling y'all came there? This the same stuff that they doing here.
But how is it that you go and you invite 50 South African families to come and move here, but yet you go to Nigeria to bomb it
Yeah,
and to save the same group of people that
yeah.
you figure was being prosecuted because they were Christians?
Facts.
But you do one thing to one group of people and do another thing to another group of people. Meanwhile, you're still trying to destroy the fact that Africa and African people in America are beginning to change and move differently.
Yeah.
But yet you don't want to, you go and don't bomb South Africa, and you don't make the white South African families feel some sort of, and they're Dutch. So
Yeah.
let me be clear.
But why
They're
they wouldn't send them
called
back to Dutch?
why not? Why would I go back to Deutschland and if I can come over here and abuse the people and take their stuff and put myself up on top like I've been, like every other European country been doing?
Yeah, because they was able to create something for themselves in somebody else's
Yeah.
land. But see, and that's why I say the contradiction when you look at with America, even when you look at with the Israel situation, the contradiction. Y'all looking over in South Africa saying these families getting did wrong, but y'all not saying, because it comes down to skin color. That's really what it is.
And this is, and I, you know, the political landscape is nothing more than about skin color.
Yeah, and they don't want to admit. It's just like they gonna tell you, that's not what it's about.
Yes, it is. It's ideology.
Yeah.
It's the framers and writers of the Constitution were white men who came from England, who were landowners and slave owners.
Facts.
The propaganda after the end of the Civil War that started the Klan in 1874, 75, probably before that, the propaganda was, if you're poor and white, you got to worry about the black folks and the Native Americans. And most of the Native Americans have been eliminated and put on reservations. And you have to fight against them from taking your jobs. But meanwhile, before that, poor whites and poor blacks were working together. We move 100 years later. You do the same thing during the civil rights movement, and especially after that, when we had the period of social unrest. As long as you make sure that you don't hang around them black folks and the whole time with the love and the drugs and all that other stuff and everything that was going on, we was having a social revolution in this country. And we had Vietnam. As long as you don't hang around the black folks, it's the same thing. And then Lyndon Johnson said, after signing the Voter Rights Act in 65 and the Civil Rights Act in 64, which allowed any other group to come in and take advantage of the things that we were supposed to have at least an opportunity to, we have effectively given the United States to the Southern Dixie Democrats. But he also said that if you write the law, or if you tell poor white folks that black folks are going to take over, they will empty their wallet and give you their last dime, as long as we're able to keep poor black folk down and make white folks think that they were better than poor black folks, than the richest black folks. It's the same thing. It's nothing no different. So then my position sometimes is, why then do we still go to their establishments? Why do we still I was just at a ski club event on the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
I turn around and there's all of these. Just a black club, the oldest black club in the country.
Mm-hmm.
What we here? Why y'all here? Go be with the other groups. The other groups have stuff and they don't. I tried because I didn't know about the black clubs at first when I first started skiing. My boy did, but I didn't. So I'm like, go to ski with y'all. When I went and tried to ski with a group, I was like, man, they literally, without saying it, your kind's not want to hear.
See, that's the point. That's the point. I saw something with Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they was talking about, because they got their podcast. I was just watching. They was talking about and now these people got money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they millionaires, and they was talking about how they was at a 5-star hotel. Said they got treated racist. Now you would think you're gonna get beyond that because they're not at the regular hotels, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you get up bigger to the top, you know you're gonna experience more racism, right?
More racism.
And that's what he was trying to tell Yayo that. And Yayo was like, he said, and he asked him quietly, he said, did the lady have to come back and apologize to us for the people being racist to us? He said that's why he got loud. He said when he was saying, and these people have money.
Yeah.
You know, but they still think about Oprah Winfrey. Remember, she couldn't go into the one store?
Yeah, Oprah in
and
Paris.
She's a billionaire.
She's a billionaire. And they told her, no, we're not letting you in because she wanted a private where she could go in and shop privately.
Yeah.
She paid for it.
Yeah.
I want to have this whatever store that she went to or wanted to go to. They told her no. And that was all because of her skin. They ain't like you not paying for everything in the store.
Oh, but did you forgot she couldn't buy the one crib over there in Malibu, California? Right. Like I'm just saying, there's certain areas you can't move into. And
no matter how much money you got.
And that's what I'm saying. But see, we'll forget that. They keep acting like we not paying. And it's just, to me, it's crazy how when we try to have these conversations, but our own will leave it alone. Just think about it at the United Nations. This when Bush Jr. was the president. You had Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell.
Mm-hmm.
At the United Nations. They wouldn't even show up for the on the World Affair. It was about race relations.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show up. They said America didn't have racism.
Right.
And she was once she a child prodigy, she didn't go to church that day when they blew the church up.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like you said, you can show throughout history where they didn't use one time you was alligator bait.
Right.
If you won a championship, when Jack Johnson won, they went out and went to lynching blacks.
Lynching black folks.
And then you got to think, and to what was his name? Emmett Till, off allegedly that he would whistle. Allegedly, they said.
And when she died, she says it never happened.
But just think. But we look at the Emmett Till. Then go look at Tamir Rice. Soon as he pull up,
12 years old with a gun that you can. Now, let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I go to a local pawn shop and I'll buy tools on occasion. I'll go over there and look at some they got on the wall.
Right.
There's 3 of them that look like real weapons. Now, the one that Tamir Rice had, it was clear that there was an orange tip on the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even care. He just shot. The person that called on him wasn't even that made the phone call in the first place. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter to them. They didn't take the time to assess the situation, see what the deal was. This little kid, he out here playing with a cap gun or a pellet gun. Now, was he shooting car windows out? Then how about you step your ass outside and say, hey, man, what the hell you doing?
Right.
That's what gets me with white folks automatically feel threatened and then think they got big bad enough in order to stand up. And I'm glad Godfrey shows that stuff too, where you're going to sit up there and you feel threatened by everything that we do, but you won't leave us alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that he's doing it.
You know, we go skiing and here we go. And the name of the club in Denver, Chris, is called the Sippers and Sliders. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. But if there's a problem, leave us the hell alone.
Yeah, and no, let's even go to the. But see, that's where it went. See, and I go back when the minister did say Trump peeled back the civility. Remember, a lot of Americans was mad about Obama. Remember,
Yeah, man.
for him being president. They was mad.
Every white American was mad about
and
that.
Trump, and when Trump got back in, he came with a vengeance.
When he got in the first time,
that's what I'm talking about.
And then the second time this time is even worse.
Because
but here's the thing.
Go ahead.
We don't recognize it. We're not making changes by having Roland Martin say, "Don't go to buy at Target." Take that. Where's that money at that we supposedly kept? And how come we didn't do anything with it? We're not developing our communities.
You ain't gonna say that. Get your communities together.
But a person that's much more powerful and knowledgeable than he is. There's two people. Dr. Boyce Watkins and Dr. Claude Anderson. Don't listen to him no more. Go check out them two people. Of course they won't leave us alone because we the coolest people on the damn planet.
But you know why that's not going to happen. You said it. Because they know how to program us. They didn't have 400 years to understand how to get us. Just think about blacks made Cadillac to where they at.
Listen, if it wasn't for selling to black preachers who were not the most literate men, Cadillac don't exist.
And that's a fact.
Cadillac don't exist. The Cadillac division of General Motors doesn't exist, which is the reason why my dad said he never had one. He saw them the pimps in the pulpit and the pimps on the street.
Yeah. Why you think they allow you to preach?
Because
if they thought you was gonna preach.
Oh no, they ain't gonna let me ever.
Why do you think they try to destroy anybody who they feel like can wake the masters up? Yeah. It wasn't by choice that see, that just show you how silly we are in the minds, as I'm talking about as a race of people. Right. When you got J. Edgar Hoover said the Messiah will come out the black race. He's looking for the black. Even they know let's go back to Andrew Jackson. What did he say? He feared that God is going to be a just God.
Right.
I'm not saying it verbatim, but even they know, because let's be honest, these people don't believe in no heaven after this.
They don't know. You know where they heaven is? Go to Colorado. You talk to Denver.
Yeah.
You go to these resorts that they make up for themselves. They're not sitting around here worried about what the hell gonna happen when I die. They gave that bullshit to us.
Yeah. Right.
Man, you got to sit here and serve your master, and then you'll get your just reward in heaven. It's the same shit you hear preached every day. That's 3. They hear the same. That's 4. Right. Same shit you hear preached every damn day. And when the hell you gonna read for your damn self?
Every Sunday. And tell you to turn the other cheek.
I ain't turning. Yeah, when I turn that other cheek, the other hand coming.
Yeah, but they don't understand that was. I'm not saying the way they did the Bible now, they didn't put so much cut on it.
They don't even talk about the Old Testament no more. Everything's the New Testament, the New Covenant. But wait a minute. Jesus wasn't revolutionary if you believe it. Go read it for real.
You go study him.
No, go read it for real and stop listening to somebody tell you something else was going on. Because it's revolutionary to raise the dead.
Right.
And we're mentally dead.
And that's what they talking about.
That's exactly what they're talking about. Mentally dead. Yeah. It's revolutionary to go and say, you're no longer, the Pharisees are no longer going to take money from the people, that we're going to keep the money in our community. Then if you want to talk about it for real. Other than that, get out of the way. Because you ain't doing nothing but destroying people and keeping people complacent. There's no way we should have the coldest days of the years that we had. And Brother Roberts goes and knocks on the door over at McCree Theater to let 7 to 8 families in. And we get all of these people in these churches around here. You even got the St. Michael's here. You're at City of Hope. You don't let nobody over there. Why are we still dealing with these institutions? They're not institutions because they're not there for what the hell they started for.
They money pits.
Now, listen. We didn't get to the book today because Miss T is not here. But that's when James Baldwin became a youth minister, and he finally woke up after talking to some Jewish young men in New York. And they told him what the deal was. And because they told him that's the same thing that goes on in the synagogue. That's when he was a youth minister, and him and his dad got into it because James was more knowledgeable than his father, and his father was a preacher that didn't know a whole lot, but he was a preacher and it sounded good. But when he was real clear, it was about money. That's all it's been about. It ain't been about doing nothing the way they used to do.
Right.
You ain't having no sneaking, no core, and no SCLC coming out of these churches no more. You haven't vote for this person, vote for that. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna come to your church when it's voting time, and you're gonna vote for me because this clown says so.
And guess who benefit?
The clown.
Facts, because he not helping his petitioners. He not helping the flock in the church. You know what the pastor gonna do?
Yeah, he fleecing the flock.
Right, he gonna come right up here. Let me bring such and such up here. We had to get him a car. We had to pay his rent. What about they've been paying your rent for 10 years? Because that's what you do when you collect it.
Man, wait a minute. Not only that, we'll go back to the story that one of my friends told me about an older lady that was giving her money to the church, and the church told her she wasn't praying hard enough, and she lost her house that her husband built, and when he passed, he left it to her. She lost her damn house, had to get an apartment. She still go to the church. Insanity.
Yeah, I wish I would. The church
Insanity.
And what they doing. And I mean the church is something.
Listen.
Not all, but enough.
That's all of them. Because they not out there doing no damn thing. Nobody should have been outside when we had that cold snap in January, February. Nobody. There's no way that Roberts should have had to. He called. Oh, this is Olympics.
I can't disagree with you with it.
You know there's no way with all of the people walking around here in this city that anybody's hungry. You got the City of Hope over there run by St. Michael's, and what else are they doing? Meanwhile, we sitting here talking about praying to go to heaven. Kiss my ass.
Facts.
Oh, you can't tell me a damn thing. Whenever I did my brother's eulogy, I did my brother's funeral. Wasn't having nobody I didn't know talk about my brother. I knew my brother. I know my brother. I wasn't having nobody. Oh, well, we can hire. No, the hell we can't. I'm doing it as a tribute to my brother, as a tribute to my sister, both of them. I wasn't having nobody else come in and talk about nothing. I'm doing it as much as it hurt. Some damn clown that don't know nothing. And yet we still run around following these idiots for what? Because they made you such and such in the church. And I'm not saying some people are not doing community service, but at the same time, is a community service for your community or it's for everybody? With the churches that's around Little Beirut, shouldn't not a damn thing be going on over there.
Facts.
Nothing should be going on over there.
I agree with you. Shit. I mean, but this is where we at though. This is how you know they not revolutionaries. These people they like to acculate. We're in a year of the title,
right? Yeah. All we want to do is have titles, and it makes me feel good that I have a title, and that's all. I don't want to do nothing else.
Well, they showed that. I mean, we in the age of titles. When your title, that's like a person saying you a doctor. If your degree can't help uplift your people, what is your degree?
Right.
You know. So if your degree ain't helping you, you running around, I'm a doctor. What is you a doctor of? And the people around you are sick.
Man, if your people sick, we sick. Not just you sick. Oh, I got a doctor of divinity. I got a doctor of this. For what? Why? Yeah. You're not healing the people. I'm going to say that again. You sit around there and we talk about the New Testament, and that's all they talk about because of the covenant with Jesus and God or whatever it's supposed to be. And the Old Testament doesn't matter. Well, then take it out of the damn book.
But that's to show you if they really paid attention. Jesus said, I didn't come to break the laws. I come to uphold the laws. So I don't see why they keep saying they not going with the Old Testament. When Jesus came and tell you, he didn't come to destroy the laws of Moses. If I'm mistaken, let me know. I thought he said he come to uphold them. Jesus was talking the same thing Moses was talking.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
None of these persons that are not listening to this day right now, that should be, have the clear understanding of what a servant is. It's not about taking a vow of poverty.
Mm.
It's about working for the people that need the most help. I'm not here as a person with no title trying to, I don't care what you think, feel, believe. That's your personal belief, thoughts, feelings, whatever.
Yep.
I have no respect for men or women that are not out there making sure that the people that are the hurt the worst are not doing their best to help.
Mm.
When it was cold,
Mm-hmm.
and only one institution that I know of, and I heard this from Brother Roberts, opened their doors and said, you can bring those families in and you can come, and as long as you come and stay with them, you can bring them here. And he did it. Brother Roberts, is a real brother. We may disagree with some stuff, and we have our own battles about who talked the most, because that's my big brother. But at the same time, he did something that nobody else has done. I called several churches, whatever, they went to. Meanwhile, you sitting up there, you warm and cozy, and people are suffering. You can't talk to me. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
Facts.
People suffering and whatever. I don't want to hear that. Now, knowing me, if I was in a different space in my head and in my spirit, I'd be like, hey, if you could bring them over to my house. But I'm not in that space right now. But when I get there, it'd be like, hey, look, somebody needs some help. As long as you don't do no stupid stuff, you can come here. Doors open, come over. I'll cook, whatever, and we can, kick it, whatever, and go from there. Where I'm being critical because it's about us. Are we not doing the work as families, as institutions that says we're going to work towards? I'm not trying to convert you to nothing. And even me, I'm telling you this. I want you to go read. I want you to go study. Is everybody going to study what I study? No, I've been doing this. I'm 62. I've been studying this information since I was 12, 50 years. Are people deeper than I am and more study than I am? Absolutely. I don't have no issue with that. I don't have any issue with that. But it's about studying. It's about sharing. It's about knowing. How in the hell can you throw a life raft to people that don't think they drowning? And ain't nobody hit a like button yet. Look, and y'all got to share this out too, because I think this is what we're talking about is important. And there ain't no likes being hit, and ain't no, and y'all need to share this out as well. And I appreciate you, Miss Cousins, for doing your part, because we need to keep doing our part. Everybody does. You got people drilling a hole in the boat, and then people ain't plugging it in, which is the reason why we losing.
Facts.
Well, we've done that before. We just got to do a little bit different format, because the issue that I have with my brother is he wants to be the whole show and we should be sharing. And I'm not mad, you know,
For
because he
sure.
was trying to get a message out. But at the same time, it's like we have to share. And so we'll put together a format where we can hang out again when we get another break. That's my guy, you know. But we gotta force those places. They're not institutions. Those places that we got the churches and whatnot, and folks are getting their praise and worship on. But you should be feed. No, it's cool to feed your people at the end of church. Because I remember that used to happen when I was a churchgoer. But what about those people outside of the church that don't have nothing? They gonna eat. That's the ones you feed. That's the one the food is the most important. You know, that's where the food's the most important. Because then are you teaching them to eat or are you teaching them to fish?
Mm.
And if we're not teaching people to fish, then we keep on drilling holes in the boat.
Miss Sherry, I wish they would do that.
Well, you know what? Sometime around here, Miss Sherry Allen, we need to talk because I like the idea, but it's being able to find a place, and there's several empty places around here. It depends upon all right, Miss Cousin. Hey, listen, we appreciate you
for sure.
We appreciate that because it's about it's at the end of the day. If we keep drilling enough holes in a boat, it don't matter how much money you got, you're gonna die. You're gonna drown and die. And the sharks are waiting in the water.
And they is waiting.
And they waiting. They throw another body overboard, no problem. And I don't want to throw nobody's children away, period. That's my job.
Facts.
I am not trying to throw no kids away, no adults away. And if I'm not giving the truth the best way that I know how, my expectation is my family corrects it. But we sit up here and we got these clowns. And I did see that clip that my man playing with his son. You put your hand between his legs, man. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, because I see Jedediah on that. I think he going out to the Texas, wherever
Man,
it's at.
I'm not saying.
No, I'm just saying, but when nobody speaking out on it.
But I'm like, this is your son, bro.
Man, listen.
I know. I know because they'll sell their kids out and all that other stuff. Yeah. But this is your son. What the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong? What is wrong with you so much that you decided that you were going to do that to your son? What?
Yeah, like some of this. Like I said, that's why I didn't play it. It to me, it was a little fringe to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I sent it to you.
You did, and I looked at it,
and I was
like, oh, at first it was playful, and then now it's one thing if you was reaching for him and he did, and it was a mistake. You hurry up and put your hand back, because you reached kind of far. You didn't touch him, but you was too close for me. And your son, 15. What the hell you wrestling around in his bed for?
Like, man, some of that stuff I saw, man. That's why I'm like, but that's the society that we in right now. Oh. Any last words, brother?
Okay.
2 hours.
Yeah, we did 2 hours today. Family. You know, we gotta pay attention to the landscape. Miss Cousins, I applaud you because it's not easy. Mm. That what you're dealing with children who you know, and I'm glad you have the understanding with children, but pay attention to how they get treated in school. That's how this all started. Where? Let me know. Hey, if you can send it to Mika, send it to me. Let me know. And I don't care if y'all have my, you know, because it's Elliott McCants on Facebook. Okay. It's McCants Elliott on Instagram. And at Mick, I don't care nothing about sharing my phone number. Y'all, you know, hit me up. I don't care. You know, because we need to let Miss Cousins let us know how we can get in touch with that so we can go ahead on the Mac, you know, make it happen. Thank you. But I appreciate y'all sharing y'all time and day with us, family. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, we need to be in on all of that, because what I'm talking about trying to do is really for the people. I'm not listening. Where's my man at? Raphael and who else that want me to run for?
Chris Caleb.
Chris, we're talking about running for council. They not. Man, they not. No, I ain't. Not yet.
Oh, that wasn't his son. That was a relative, Brother Elliott. That wasn't the pastor's son. I'm looking at the comment.
Oh. It was it still don't matter. You're a 15-year-old boy. Why you rolling in this bed as a grown-ass man?
Yeah. No, they were just straight like because people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know because they didn't give the context for it. But he's 15. Man, you think my son would have beat my ass for rolling around in this bed at 15 years old talking about some happy birthday? He big as hell. You see how big my son is?
Yeah, nah.
Ain't not. And first of all, that's not man stuff. That's not man stuff. I could kind of see mom doing it or whatever, 15 years old, that's a mark and whatever. But as a man, you rolling around your son or nephew's or relative's bed. And like I said, if the reach was accidental, then you hurry up and pull your hand out of the way. Reboot. I don't know what that is. Y'all got to help me out. I do too much reading. I don't know.
For sure.
All right, family. Thank y'all so much. Keep working, baby. Y'all keep working, keep studying. Watch our children, all of them, and help us out.
And peace.
Man. Oh, that's crazy. All right, fam. Peace. And we can open up